You're not failing. You just haven't given it long enough. You've just not tried consistently over a decent period of time yet. A lot of people come to me and they go like, why am I not growing? Why am I not succeeding? Why this, why that? And then I go on their profile and they've been doing it for like a week, maybe a month, maybe a couple of months. But the reality is, and again, I do think that this is something that a lot of gurus mislead people on, is for you to succeed on social media, it's going to take some time. You've got to think how many other people are trying to do it. You've got to think just in the early days, everything is stacked against you. It is a lot easier to get views when you're already getting views. It is a lot easier to get people to follow and like and comment when you've already got followers and likes and comments. The first anything is always much harder than anything else. A big part of doing social media as a job is often working as if it is a job long before it ever is paying you a penny. A lot of people, you don't just stumble into success the majority of the time. And if you do, it often comes off the back of a lot of hard work that you may not even realize you've done. People are like, oh, he's an overnight success. And then if you actually delve deeper into somebody's account at that point, you look at their history, they've been posting consistently for years sometimes. A lot of people are doing everything that they're supposed to be doing. They're doing everything right, but they're just not doing it for long enough. It only takes one video for you to blow up. And sometimes you cannot predict what that video is going to be, but presuming that you've created your format in terms of the way that you create your content, eventually you'll have something that performs better than something else. And you'll be able to look at that and go, right, how can we learn from that? How can we replicate that and try and make it happen again? If you've only made a few videos, if you've made less than 100 videos, good luck in being able to do stuff like that. Good luck in being good at all the things that are going to make that happen in the first place. If you've only made a few videos, the way that you come across on camera is probably not there yet. The way that you schedule things in terms of like getting things done through your day to ensure that what you're trying to achieve has happened. If you yourself right now are creating content, you're uploading, you are already doing the work. It is just a case of continually doing that work, trying to improve something each time, trying to do just a little bit better. Try and take a look at your analytics of whatever the amount of views you're currently getting is, and try and just improve something. Even if it's not actually measurable through analytics or data, just try and do better. One thing that I've always tried to do is I've always tried to remember that no matter how few people see these videos or any video ever, is that every single view that you get is a real human that you can be trying to relate to and connect with. A lot of content creation, a lot of life is human psychology. And if you can connect with somebody, you're going to keep them around a hell of a lot longer than somebody that just sees people as mindless drones and things like that. If right now you feel like you're not growing because you only get 200 views a video or whatever, remember that's 200 people stood in front of you listening to what you've got to say. It is then up to you to be able to do something in your video to connect with a portion of those 200 viewers and turn them into followers, turn them into people that like your stuff and want to come back and watch more. But the thing is, and I see this a lot too, is a lot of people think that they make really good videos and they think that they've posted loads of them and they've been doing it for a while, but they're consistently still not growing and they're still not getting anywhere. And in that instance, it's like, well, perhaps the videos are not as good as you think, because the way that I've always quantified or qualified whether a video is good or bad is the reception of that video. It isn't about the camera equipment that you use or the time that you put in or how much you personally enjoyed making the video that determines whether a video is good or not. It is how well did the people that saw the video, no matter how small of a pool of people that may be, react to that video. And if each time you upload a video, you're there trying to make something that people will in some way like, be entertained by, or educated from, if, regardless of how small that pool of people is, you are able to connect with some of those people, very quickly that pool of people will grow. Because again, that's the way these algorithms all work, is you post a video, then that video will be shown to some amount of people, generally not many if you're pretty small. And then based upon how those people react, engage with that content, how much they watched the video as a watch time percentage, that will then determine whether or not that video is then pushed out to more and more people. So based on saying that a video is good if people like the video, which I feel like is pretty common sense, if you have uploaded tons and tons and tons and have done that for a long time and have never managed to grow beyond that first pool of people that get shown that video, it means that that first pool of people don't like your video. And at some point you got to look inwards, because a lot of people will blame things that they can't control as an excuse. And I don't think that's helpful to anybody ever. I think that when you're trying to improve at literally anything ever, trying to worry about the things that are outside of your control is not a worthwhile use of time, and trying to improve upon things that are within your control is the best use of time. If you get your 200 views and you can convert even like 2% of them into a follower, so what would that be, like 4 people? That grows eventually. I promise you, if you can start converting people from just viewers into followers, into fans, no matter how few people that is, no matter how small that pool of people began as, you will grow over time. You absolutely will. Now you might be saying, okay, so been getting views, but not many views, and people don't stick around, and nothing's growing. What about my video isn't connecting with these people? And it could be the subject matter. It could be the delivery. It could be your ability to keep people entertained for the first 5 to 30 seconds, depending on the place that you're posting it. Because fun fact, on TikTok, the majority of people have scrolled away before the first 5 seconds has elapsed. If you can keep people around on TikTok for more than 5 seconds, generally you have a much easier time keeping them for the rest of the video. On YouTube, because attention spans are a little bit better, that's closer to about 30 seconds. In the analytic page of YouTube, we are shown the performance of an intro as being the first 30 seconds, because generally people will decide whether or not they're going to stay the length of a video in that first 30. So if you just focus on making that first 30 as engaging, relatable, and connecting with people in that first 30 seconds, you can get away with a lot more in that second part. And that is where a lot of people go awry as well, where the actual content of their video, the idea behind their video will be good. The delivery of it is usually fine, but it's the fact that they didn't stop people scrolling. They took too long. So for example, on TikTok, I see some videos that I think are really cool. And then I think, hang on, what did the first few seconds actually look like? Because generally I think I've got a bit of a better attention span than like the average TikToker because of YouTube. Most of you guys will as well, because you're on YouTube and not TikTok. So when you actually look at it, people who pause at the start of the video, like millennial pause, you know how people press record and don't start speaking immediately. On TikTok, if you even pause for a second, that is 1/5 of the time that you had to capture somebody's attention wasted. If you wait 10 to 15 to 20 seconds into a video to show whatever is important or eye-catching about whatever video that you're making on TikTok, it's too late. This is why you'll see social media gurus banging on about hooks. A hook is a way that you stop the scroll. It can be a visual hook, it can be something written, it can be something that you do or say. Sometimes it's as simple as just where you are stood, because even motion can help be a hook. For example, a video where you are on the move will often outperform a video where you are stationary, just because human attention spans are a little bit in the bin, and keeping what is in frame consistently changing is better for the algorithm. Me being sat here with a stationary camera on a tripod isn't ideal when it comes to retention ratings, but this isn't the kind of content where I'm particularly fussed about that. This is just me trying to be helpful. That's why you'll see people who, they will edit their videos, so even when they're not really moving, what is on screen is still changing every few seconds. They'll be jumping in and out, stuff like that, to keep attention spans, to keep it fresh up here. When you consume content going forward, if you're trying to grow, I want you to not just be consuming it as a viewer, but consume it as if you are in that creator's shoes, and try and imagine what they're doing at all times, because success always leaves clues. And if you're watching your favorite successful YouTuber, whatever, I guarantee that a lot of what they do is intentional. Even if they're at a point where they sort of do it intentionally but subconsciously, at one point or another, they were having to make a conscious choice to do the thing that they're doing. For example, in social media growth space, something that they will often do is they will have one video lead into another. So when it naturally draws to a close, instead of doing the whole, right guys, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, see you next time sort of thing, they will have whatever their topic currently is lead in to be the core topic of the next video, so that when the video ends off, there is then that looping cycle where they then go and click on the next thing. People that are really good at scripting their content will do the same thing, where the pacing will be there to designed around keeping people there. Because again, the number one thing that all of these platforms cares the most about is what percentage of your video's runtime are you capable of keeping people around for. If you can keep people around for a decent proportion of your videos will grow, because you are making that platform money, and the platforms love that. So hopefully something I said in this video was at least a little bit helpful. Often people who are trying to grow but not succeeding are doing what they need to be doing. They just have yet to nail down the things that could help them go a little bit further in terms of what they can learn from what they're already doing. And they, in some instances, are doing everything they need to be doing. They just haven't been doing it for long enough. It is part of the job description that most content creators just don't get anywhere for a while when they first start. You don't make much when you first start. You don't get a lot of views when you first start. It ain't usually that, well, it is often that, but sometimes these days, people generally get better at making better content sooner now because of the information that is available online, versus when it was just all trial and error and there wasn't the people with success to look at to see how they got there. All you need to be doing really is making videos that are good enough. Make videos that are good enough that they relate to someone, that you can strike a chord on an emotional level with people. Keep people around so that you are aware that their attention spans are not great no matter what platform they're on. And you will grow. It's really a very simple, repeatable process. And if you can just break it down into these actionable parts where you look at your analytics, you see what performed well, you're not just creating for the sake of creating, you are trying to do something a little bit better each time. You will improve. You will do better. You will get further. And I would like to know how many of you guys made it to the end of this video. Comment down below saying you would like a cookie. It's always a cookie. I'm curious.